So with that said, now getting into what I genuinely thought of the movie, good and bad all together, because in honor of Chris and the way he approached movies, I still think it is important to be honest about one's thoughts in a movie. Let me get into what I thought of Shelby Oaks. So starting off with things that completely blew me away with Shelby Oaks is the first 17 minutes. That to me is the strongest element of this movie, and it's the thing that immediately let me know, all right, Chris Stuckman is for real. He's not just somebody who's been talking as a film fan, but then can't dish it out when the time comes. Chris, in the first 17 minutes, was actually able to create a pretty eerie and creepy atmosphere, right? So we know there is this sister that has gone missing. And for a good chunk of the movie, a lot of it is done through the found footage style. And that one was a really smart budgetary move, because the thing I want to remind people when going to this movie, you can't expect what the Rocka Brothers did with Talk to Me, or even David F. This was mainly done through Chris Stuckman's own funds and the fans who supported him, being one of the highest funded Kickstarter campaigns. But even then, it was still under $1 million. And Chris worked with that budget. There was a real sense of dread. It was setting up the world so well. Riley, the missing sister, is part of this group known as the Paranormal Paranoids, who are just kind of like these YouTube investigators exploring different abandoned haunted locations. And that mystery aspect of Mia trying to uncover what happened to her sister, it has your genuine interest. Camilla Sullivan in the role, I thought was also a really great protagonist to follow. You really feel her pain and her desperateness to try and piece together what happened to her sister. One of my favorite aspects of the character is how this investigation and obsession with finding her sister has affected her marriage life. The movie dives a little bit into the things that she has kind of lost or put on the back burner because she's so obsessed with trying to figure out what happened to Riley. And it was in these specific moments that I even told Chris after watching the movie, he composited them so well, where dialogue didn't even need to be said for you to really feel the impact and pain of what this couple has lost due to her obsession. That's another strength I think Chris Suckman does have and showcases in this movie, is his visual eye for telling a story. Another awesome thing I think Chris Stuckman did to maximize his budget is use Ohio, Chris Stuckman's home state, and some of its abandoned locations to really up the production value in the film. It's a lot of good landscape shots and eerie locations that Chris is able to use, and it was really a lot of those elements that left me walking out liking the movie. I enjoyed it. I think it's a strong, solid start for Chris. It shows a lot of promise, and you could obviously tell Chris has a distinct vision for how he wants things laid out.